review. Hey guys, it's the Black Critic Guy, and today I'm here to review the film Rush! So the story of Rush, if I'm to be honest, is a tale of two assholes, James Hunt and Niki Lauda, and their rivalry to be the best of the best in the Formula One racing competition. And that's basically the main core of this entire movie, it's their rivalry. So when I first saw the trailer for this movie, I thought to myself, that looks pretty interesting. And now I finally saw the movie, and I really enjoyed this movie actually. Yes, it does have a few problems here and there, I mean what movie doesn't, but overall I enjoyed watching this movie. I mean the main focus of the film was not on the two individuals separately, although they both had moments that did focus solely on them, but it was focused on the rivalry between them, which undoubtedly was the most interesting part. The best parts of this movie is when they're egging each other on, they're trying to one-up each other, and you kind of felt like they had mutual respect for each other in the spirit of competitiveness, which I actually really liked. The performances in this movie are top-notch, especially from the two main actors. Chris Hemsworth does a fantastic job as James Hunt. He plays that ambitious, pretentious asshole who knows he's good, he knows he's good looking, and he will not hesitate to flaunt it. But honestly, in my opinion, the best performance in this movie was by Daniel Brühl. I think that's how you pronounce his name. If anything, I'll put his name right here just in case if I pronounced it wrong. But I thought he knocked it out of the park as Niki Lauda. He had that competitive spirit. He knew exactly what he needed to do to win, and he was an asshole a couple of times. I mean, he does come off as arrogant just because he knows everything. He got on my nerves a few times in this movie, but the performance was stellar. And I think honestly this is the first racing movie that I've ever seen that really just focuses on the racing aspect of the story. Most of the times they kind of focus more on the characters and give little to no racing, which is what we came to see. We want to see stellar, exciting, and exhilarating racing scenes, and the movie really gives you those, although they are a bit brief. But in the end, that's kind of a double-edged sword for this movie because it focuses so much on the racing aspect that they don't really focus on the character or story aspect. I mean, if you were to take out all the racing and the interesting rivalry between these two racers, what did you have left? Not much of anything, because the side characters are weak. They had no real development to them or connections with the main characters. Olivia Wilde is hot in this movie, but she really doesn't have much to do in it. I mean, she appears now and again, and most of the time she doesn't really say much. Now you could say, since it was based on a true story, that this was an accurate portrayal of the real life person, but I know there was more to this person than meets the eye, and they could have delved more into it, and the relationship that she had with James Hunt, even though if it was shallow, they could have delved more into it. Another problem that I have with this film, and it could be attributed to the fact that they focus more on the racing aspect of the story, is that there are so many time jumps in this movie. Again, I know they were trying to focus more on the racing aspect and the intrigue of this rivalry between these two racers, but I would have loved to know like some of the downtimes, you know? I would have loved to know more about James Hunt's marriage and how that worked out. I would have loved to know more about Niki Lauda spending some time with that girl that would later become his wife. There's not really much downtime. In fact, sometimes there'll be such a huge time jump that some characters that were dating other characters won't be in the next few scenes. I mean, it was just kind of confusing because at one moment James Hunt is dating this one girl who's the girl from Game of Thrones with the red hair who's pretty interesting, and then the next minute he's married to Olivia Wilde, and I'm just like, okay, I understand that he's a playboy, but what happened to this other girl, the one that he was dating earlier? I mean, they focus so much on her, but it builds up to nothing. And again, it's attributed to the fact that there are so many time jumps that leaves out some vital information. And so I went up to her, I was just like, woo! And then I went, woo! And then she smacked me right in the face. I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, bar mitzvahs. What was I supposed to be doing? So, oh shit, the review! Back to the review now. But probably Probably my biggest problem with this film, and you might not agree with me on this, is that I really felt like the film should have focused more on Niki Lauda. And what I mean by that is that the trailers, the posters, almost the entire movie tries to focus more on James Hunt, who is without a doubt not even an interesting person to start off with. The most interesting person in this film is Niki Lauda. In fact, the way the movie starts off, it sounds like it's kind of Niki Lauda's story, but then it jumps focus to James Hunt, who becomes like our underdog. But honestly, I didn't really root for him. I didn't really like him as a person. He was an arrogant asshole in the beginning of the movie, and he was an arrogant asshole at the end of the movie. There was not really much change to his personality. Whereas Niki Lauda started off as an arrogant asshole, and at the end of the film, he kind of grew wiser and realized there was much more to life than that 1 minute of fame. I really felt like if this movie was more of the Niki Lauda story, it would have made for a more compelling and more interesting movie, because Niki Lauda, he's not the best looking guy around. In fact, they refer to him as a rat in this entire movie, and honestly, he kind of looks like one. But he went through so much trials and tribulations to get to where he's at, and that's what made him a very compelling and interesting person. I would have loved to know more about Niki Lauda than James Hunt. The fact that they focus so much attention to a very uninteresting person like James Hunt is a downright spin in the face to Niki Lauda and all the struggles that he went to. In fact, really where the movie picked up for me, where I really thought the movie was going places, is when they focused on Niki Lauda in the hospital. I could have watched that for an hour and been interested just to see him get back on his feet. That was compelling. That was interesting. That should have been the main focus, Niki Lauda. But in the timeless words of fellow YouTuber, The One Janitor, that's just me though. But overall, I still did enjoy watching Rush. Yes, it does have a few problems here and there, and I did wish that they focused more on Niki Lauda than they did on James Hunt. But I still thought it was a thrilling and engaging movie with some excellent racing scenes and a very interesting rivalry between James Hunt and Niki Lauda, which was still very interesting. And that's why I'm going to give this film a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's not great, but it's a rather enjoyable film, and I think you guys will really enjoy watching it. But anyway, what did you guys think of this film? Did you like it a lot? Or did you find it boring and you thought the rivalry was stupid? And I've been waiting to ask this question for a very long time, and I finally have the opportunity to ask it. What is the best rivalry you've ever seen in a film? Comment below, let me know. Also stay tuned guys for my monthly live chat, which is coming on September 30th at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is coincidentally the same day that the Black Critic Guy fan art contest is coming next Monday. So hopefully you guys finish up your submissions and tune into the live chat as I count down until the final moments until the end of the competition. I have a bunch of reviews coming your way. In fact, I have a bunch of videos coming out on Nightcast Studios, so if you guys would check that out, that'd be really awesome because I worked really hard on those videos as well. Check out my Facebook fan page if you have not done so already. And until then guys, hit that subscribe button if you're new to my channel. Welcome to the Black Critic Guy. Like this video if you really enjoyed it, and I'm Tony Wilder II from the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace YouTube.